Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds, and today I'm hanging out with Pruitt from WebDM fame. What's up, my man?
What is up, my brother? How are you, sir?
I am good. How are things in Texas today?
They are cold and rainy like they have been for the past like week and a half, man. Let me tell you, I bought a new car because I got wrecked. Somebody wrecked me, or hit me, whatever, however you say that with words. And I haven't been able to wash it because it's been raining like every day, and it's kind of depressing. So I've thought about just going out and washing it anyway, and just like screw it. But I don't know, it's too cold for that shit, man.
Just watch it to watch it. Wait, it's cold. What's the temperature there?
No, it's not nothing compared to what you're probably dealing with. I mean, I think we're in the low 40s, high 30s, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
So it's cold for Texas. I mean,
Nerder Doug is in Cleveland, and he said it's like 9 degrees.
well, sucks to be him. But
We've had a bit of a warm streak. Like it rained the other day, like Christmas Eve or the day before, and I was like, if it was only colder, it would be snow.
right, yeah. Well, and I would love to, like we a couple of weeks ago we had it just snowed one night, like just out of nowhere, just snowed one night. I mean, it was a couple of inches, and everybody made snowmen. They were all about this tall, but it was snow. Hey, the cats loved it. They were a little freaked out. They were interested until it actually started hitting them, melted, and then they realized it's just water, and then they were upset that nature tricked them. So
Yeah.
they didn't like that.
It sucks when you get trolled by nature.
yes, it does.
So snowman halflings everywhere. Is that what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice. Did you give one of them a battle axe? Maybe.
Well, I did not. I'm ashamed to say that I just played video games the whole time. But I did like more than a few pictures of snowmen, so I can attest that they did get built.
I used to hate the snow because I did snow removal for like 10 years, but now I don't have to do it anymore. So now I'm like, bring on the snow.
Yeah.
And watch it and think about cool winter D&D scenes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it does. Yes, it does spark the mind. I do love the snow, mostly because, again, here in Texas, we get snow like one day a year. And so it's the day that everyone freaks out. Every business closes. It's only like 32 degrees and it's like an inch of snow. But, it might as well, the whole countryside might as well be on fire because that's how people react to snow here. And so, but it's the one day a year I get to break out my bomber jacket and actually wear it. So that's exciting,
Well, yeah, I'm sure you must get a lot of that same jacket lasts a long time. It's like an what is it? The Everstopper, Gum Stopper, or Willy Wonka thing.
You mean like an everlasting gobstopper or what?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
my brain, all these words not coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it gets cluttered sometimes with words, and it's hard to keep things in line, but that's okay. You should put your gobstopper in the microwave and see what happens.
I have to keep that in mind. You're shaking your head. Bad idea. It's someone else's microwave.
It'll explode.
The microwave or the gobstopper?
The gobstopper. I don't know. The microwave might follow suit. I'm not sure. Depends on what power setting, I guess.
Dude, you just do it 80s action hero style. You throw a couple in the microwave at someone else's house, turn it on, and walk away. Don't look back.
Yeah, totally. That's how you set up the bomb. That's the detonator for the bomb.
Yeah,
because you've already knocked off the line to the gas line. So.
So guys, if you have any questions and gals, feel free to put them in the chat. Just remember, put question in front of it. It makes it so much easier for us to pop them out.
Yes, definitely. I can answer any and all questions that I have the answers to. Definitely.
So how many games are you playing in now? You've been invited into a bunch of streams, I've noticed lately.
Yeah. WebDM is quite popular. Both Jim and I have been invited to do more than a few games. Right now, I'm up to 4 weekly games. I do a Monday night game at a local gaming bar called Vigilante Gaming Bar in North Austin. They do like a big open world art setup. I mean, there's like 60 people there every week, and we're all in the same world. We're all doing our own thing. It's pretty awesome. Also doing Wednesdays. I have 2 games that I play. That's my professional day. That's where I do Call of Cthulhu at noon with Will Jones over at Encounter Roleplay. Love those guys. We're starting a new season next week. We just finished the Masks of Nyarlathotep. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but whatever.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. So we're starting that next week. And then the last game is actually with some people from our Patreons. One of the guys from our Patreon started a Warhammer 40K, a Rogue Trader game. And the only reason I added another game was like, all right, I've been wanting to play some Warhammer 40K for a very long time and always wanted to play Rogue Trader. Never got a chance to. Jim's run a couple, I did a little eight shot thing one time, and he did a couple of 1-shots here and there over the years, but always wanted to do Rogue Trader. I want my Firefly in the 40K universe, and so it's, we just started that. So those are my regular scheduled games. But yeah, lately, Jim and I have started doing a little thing. We've done a couple of 1-shots with Sean McGovern from over at PowerScore RPG blog, along with Lisa Chin. I think you had her on yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's awesome. And also Craig Campbell. So we started doing this. He just wanted to do some of the 1-shot adventures from I believe it's from DM's Guild. Like we did a day at the races, and that was fun. And I think we did one called A Walk in the Park, and that was pretty fun. It's basically a big chase scene. And of course, me and Lisa are playing the two. We're playing the 2 Yuan-Ti purebloods. So we don't really care about people, and it's been a lot of fun playing evil characters in an otherwise just normal adventure alongside Jim Davis, who's playing a druid. So him just trying to keep the Yuan-Ti from eating everyone. It's hilarity ensues. So
that sounds pretty funny. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, I think he just put up the first one on his YouTube channel. Sean did. I believe he put the Day at the Races adventure up, and that was fun. Like a big 4-part dino race. I mean, I threw a turtle into the bay with some plesiosaurs, and they ate him up. And I took his special weapon. I got the glaive from Krull. We're just calling it the Krull. And so I love it. I love it. Sean is a fun DM. But also, I mean, like a couple weeks ago, or what was that, last weekend before last, I played in 3 separate games. We did the one with Sean and them. We did a charity game with oh my God, I'm going blank.
Was it Grant?
Grant from he DMs for Encounter Roleplay. We did his Black Sands.
Yeah, Grant Ellis.
Ellis.
What is it at Wise Papa?
Yeah, Wise Papa something.
Yeah. Wise Papa Smurf.
Yeah, Wise Papa Smurf. There should be a Wise Papa Smurf if there isn't, and I'm sure that now from into perpetuity there will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a charity 1-shot for them. That was a lot of fun. And so I love gaming, and I'm now drowning in gaming. It's quite interesting when I can't relax on my weekends because there's too much gaming going on. I would have never thought years ago, looking forward, that this is where I would be. But hey, man, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying rolling some dice.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Juice had asked the question of what does your family think about that? I don't think the cat's mind.
My family? Well, if you're just talking about my cats, they don't really mind. If you're talking about my actual family, well, we're going to need to sit down and have a whole therapy fireside chat. That's a whole nother beast, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Being raised fundamentalist Christian, you can probably guess how my family feels about that.
What are you going to do?
Can't win them all, but that's why I strive for so much affection from everyone else, because of the lack at home.
You just have to convert them to the old ways.
Well, I'm trying, but I'm no match for the Holy Ghost. So what can I say?
What did my son? I think my brother gave my son a Thor's hammer necklace for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, and he was wearing one. I'm like, so are you a pagan?
Yeah.
And he goes, what?
Oh, that's a pagan religion. I mean, come on, you're worshiping Thor? Yeah, bring it on.
Hey, man, there's a resurgence. I've seen a lot of people going back to the old religions.
Yeah, like what was that in Greenland? was it that they established like a pagan whatever? I don't know if it was Greenland or Iceland. I don't know. I remember reading that not too long ago that paganism is becoming like normalized or something like
It's on
that.
the rise.
Yeah, yeah. Bring back the old gods.
Yeah, I think I know like half a dozen people, but I'm like, hey, fuck it, man. You want to worship something? You might as well worship something cool.
Yeah,
Like Odin Godfather all the way.
Yeah, I just worship the gods of gaming.
D20.
The twin gods of fate and luck.
I believe Ted was trying in one of our Gamma World game we were playing. Ted was playing Gary the Myconid that lived under a gaming store, and he discovered all the D&D books. So he started the Church of Gygax.
That's dude. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, and because he like his type was like Regenerator, Myconid, or Regenerator, Fungal, or whatever, he could literally heal people around him. So he's like got the holy text of Gygax, and he's like, oh, clearly I'm a cleric.
Yes. Oh yes. The Holy Church of Gygax. Gary be thy name. Yes. He's definitely was a magic mushroom, wasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. So the questions have started rolling in.
Oh, have they? Oh my.
There is a bunch of them. So I'm just gonna write down the list, guys, and we'll get to as many of you as we can.
Bring it on.
Oxter, do you play the Sorcerer homebrewed or by raw?
Play the Sorcerer, as in my Sorcerer on Saber Dice.
They might be asking about that. That's a good question.
Well, I mean, I'm playing a favorite Soul Sork straight out of Xanathar's Guide. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, I'm loving it. Twin and subtle are like the best meta magic ever. I love subtle suggesting people all the time, where you're just telling them what to do and they have no idea. I mean, come on.
That's good too. That's one of the meta magics I don't see get a lot of love.
Well, and besides, it's one sorcery point no matter what. Like it's just one. Like it's like one of the cheapest that you can get. That's like the most effective. Plus the fact that, sorry, if you want to cast a spell and I want to counterspell that shit, and we don't want to get into a counterspell duel, subtle counterspell. Oh, you don't even know I'm counterspelling. You can't counterspell my counterspell. So f you, buddy. That was like literally once I was like, oh my god, no one would be able to counterspell your counterspell, and that was the whole reason why I picked subtle straight up, and then I added in command and suggestion after the fact, just because.
So Jim, on the dial, show me where they wronged you with the counterspell. Wait,
did you just call me Jim?
Oh, Pruitt, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh, I'm having an identity crisis now. No,
I know. I remember the first time I had you on, and I called you by your given first name. You're like, it's Pruitt.
Dude. Yeah, I've heard Jonathan enough in my life. It's fine. Pruitt just has a better ring to it. Besides, it's just just an old football thing.
You know what? I did call you by Jim instead of Jonathan. Like it was ingrained so deeply. I was going to use your first name, but like Jim's name came out instead because I can't use it.
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. I love Jim. If I get mistaken for Jim, that's quite all right. That means people will think I'm the one with all the knowledge instead of the jokes. So,
gotcha, sucker.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to get back to the Sorcerer, yeah, I'm just playing it as written. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the game. The
other one that I like that I don't feel like it's a lot of love is Distant. I like Distant.
Yes.
Especially for like the favorite soul that you're playing that's a great one.
Yes, actually, I don't know if we're gonna level up or not with these characters. If we do get to the point where I get more meta magic, Distant is going to be one of the ones that I pick.
I feel like Empower is like a favorite one alongside Twin Spell and Quicken, but like Empower is the like least appealing to me.
Yeah, I mean, people. There's nothing worse than I hit him with my Firebolt or whatever, and then I roll, Snake Eyes on my 2d10, at 5th level. Like people hate that. Just like people hate wasting whatever it is, whatever resource. And so, I get it, but yes, I think it's just because people like, I think too much credence is given to damage. Like, people only think about how much damage their character can do, and that's why you get so much twin and power and quicken, because people think about, at least I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but when I talk to people about it, that's all they're concerned about is how much damage can I pump out. I want to keep up with the barbarian. I want to keep up with the paladin. And I'm just like, whoa, pump your brakes there. You could get a lot more versatility out of this character. Don't go in power, go twin. You want to twin stuff on, you want to twin haste, because twin haste is technically cheaper than casting haste at a higher level spell to affect 2 people. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the sort points versus level of spell, it's actually cheaper to do a twin haste than to cast it at a 4th level.
Yeah, twin haste, twin enlarge, and like, you get to break the rules. It's one of the few times that you get to break the rules, and the only thing that makes that better is 2 levels of fighter.
Oh, well, obviously for the action surge, yes,
yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous. Again, don't want to start a whole multi-classing kerfuffle. But usually 2 levels of fighter can pretty much improve any class. Getting that whole extra action is nothing to scoff at.
You want a better day? 2 levels of fighter.
Most definitely. And if you're going to go Sorc anyway, if your DM will allow, just take them first. That way you can get all the armor. You probably want to take the armor fighting style, because it's the only one you're really going to use. And just have your sorcerer run around in full plate with a 19 AC. Just, who gives a shit, right?
You might as well slap a shield on too.
Yeah, and then slap a shield on. Why not? Because as long as you got that one hand free,
that's all you need. Unless you cast subtle spell.
Yeah, unless you cast subtle spell.
You don't even need that.
I want to do a sorcerer that casts everything subtle and has 2 shields and just runs around with 2 shields.
Oh my god, I hate the 2 shields. Everyone asks about that. I'm like, that is so stupid.
Well, you don't want to have a shield fighter that just fights with shields, just like plows through the front lines.
Or my other favorite one is, I'm going to take from 3rd edition and Pathfinder. I'm going to use a tower shield.
Oh yeah.
You mean you're going to carry around essentially a big door with you?
yeah. I'm going to carry around a metal door with it. It's like, yeah, now you got to go down in that. Go take that tower shield down in that dungeon. Oh yeah, this crack. Yeah, it's only 3 feet across. Can I take my shield? No, you can't. Sorry.
I just in my mind, I just envisioned a fighter with the tower shield, like, constantly trying to go through doorways and getting stopped and bouncing off of it.
He goes in sideways and he turns this way, and then they have to turn the fighter and go head first. And it's just, nobody likes that. Everybody hates that.
He's got to keep the someone needs to keep reduce handy just to reduce your fighter so he can fit.
Yeah, I'm actually at my on my Monday game at Vigilante, I had like this epic thing happen to me last week, where we went to the land of the dead for this long past, like, Egyptian like pantheon, and because we're going after these sorcerers, and they ransack this temple, and we're like, well, maybe the gods of this temple will know, and light a torch, and a barge comes over and takes us across the river Styx in essence. And sure enough, there's I think his name's Wimpawet. I don't know. He's the god of like the hunt, or the god of battle, and the pathmaker or whatever. And he asked if anybody wants to carry his name back into the land of the living. And my guy's like, my half-orc fighter's like, I like battle. I'll do that. And he grants me his boon. And so now I have a permanent enlarge spell on me. And he plucked my heart out, all Temple of Doom style, and basically it blessed my armor to be adamantine, so I'm immune to crits now. And so my half-orc is running around at 12 feet tall and 2,000 pounds. And I'm just like, this is going to be making dungeon delving quite interesting. I can't. The visuals are awesome. I love it. I mean, being a battle master, now I can kick around huge creatures instead of large. I mean, bring it. So I don't know. I'm excited for that, but hopefully the wizard learned reduce. So
that's amazing. Now I envision he just carries around, or it's on his shield, one or the other. Must be this high in order to enter dungeon.
Yes. It's like, oh well, shit. All right, guys, I'm gonna need some help here, you know, because I'm just crawling on my hands and knees.
Coffee run. Coffee.
Yep.
You guys got this.
Yeah.
So John Smith asked a question: how to influence teamwork and party cohesion in a group of strangers? That one's kind of tough if you don't have chemistry and you don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like on Saver Dice, we really have gotten very lucky in the sense that we don't know each other really well before we started, but we were able to all kind of mesh and jive, and we're all really experienced players, so I think that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Because I think newer players don't like, they want permission, where we've been around for a while, so like, fuck it, we just start doing things and other players will feed off of it.
Yes. Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, we all kind of know what's up. We've been around the park once or twice. So, you're supposed to show up with your character, do the things your character would do. Don't do things that it wouldn't do, just that you want to do as a person. I mean, like you said, new players have a tendency to kind of sit back and not really do anything because they're like, well, I don't know what to do. And they don't they don't really understand. It's like, well, this is a game. You do anything you think about, and we'll see if it'll work out, But yeah, I think that a session 0 is an important part to any kind of game experience, if it's a bunch of strangers especially, because it'll give you a chance to at least talk about characters and see if the cohesion starts to form in character creation. If somebody's like, oh, I want to do this, well, I want to do that, and I want to do this. If everybody all of a sudden picks the party roles and makes a complete party, well, then we're probably going to have some cohesion if everybody can agree to that at least, right? And so, I think that's an important part. But, I mean, we say it on WebDM all the time. The biggest thing is just don't be a dick. I mean, it's not that hard to just not be a dick, I mean, and I know Jim has said this many times, and this is one of the most important things, is just for each character, each player at the table and their character, just find one thing to give a shit about, right? To be engaged with each other, right? And that goes for the DM also with the story. Like, you got to find whether it's the main plot hook or maybe it's an NPC that the DM has introduced. Like, invest your engagement in the players and the DM around you. And to me, like, if you can do that, if everybody can get on at least that page, then you're probably going to have at least a decent session. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think too, like, it's up to the DM to kind of set the scene and go, so you get a bunch of strangers, you're about to play some Dungeons and Dragons. And the question is, are you guys first level, third level, fifth level, whatever, so it kind of speaks to the experience of the characters and the world in the game. Mm-hmm. And for the DM to go, hey, you guys all know each other. How do you know each other? What, if you're playing that way, if the party is together and you're just going to go,
yeah,
and you decide why you're together now. Have you been together for a long time? Like, you can get things going pre-game and like get the players, push it off onto them, make them figure it out. But once you put it in their mind that they've got a problem to solve or a thing to figure out, then they're thinking about it at least. Right. Or if you don't want to even worry about that, it can be like, you guys have been adventuring together for years. You've been friends for years. You know each other. And, from there, it should just kind of, it just should kind of like spring out. Like, even in the Glory Saver Dice game, Will was like, you guys all fought in the war together some way or another. You guys worry about that. Now I'm going to run the game.
Right.
So it kind of like, and then it was up to us. It's like, oh, okay. So now, since this stage has been set, we know each other, and I forget what it was. And, and in character, I made a comment about, hey, you remember how this was, to Jim's character, Ajax. And in the last season of Saver Dice, Andrew Armstrong would do a lot of that with his Cardone character. And it just made things, sometimes it was funny, sometimes it was interesting, and sometimes the players would play off of each other.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's the improv trick of, what is it? The yes and. Like, when somebody makes a point, you go yes, and then you add something a little bit more onto it, right? And so you weave that backstory together in game, and that's so much better than writing a whole backstory beforehand that everybody has to read. I mean, that's the fun of playing, right? And I don't know. I mean, I love that kind of shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I don't know what are we here? Are we PG-13? Are we rated R? What's
13ish, you know.
Okay. I get one F-bomb. I'll save it.
You'll say, well, you know, it depends too what rating system we're using and when. I'm a little trapped in the late 80s, early 90s, so it was very iffy back then.
Oh, well, 80s PG-13, if people were dropping F-bombs all the time, there could be some boobs. I might take my shirt off. I'm not saying I will, but...
My understanding, there is some of the WebDM fans that would greatly enjoy that if you did.
Oh, they are out there. I appreciate the support. It's good for my ego, but, you know, thanks.
When are we going to get the WebDM Beefcake calendar? That's what I'm talking about.
Who's to say we're not already working on it, Dave? Who's to say?
Could already be shot.
I can neither confirm nor deny the possible existence of the WebDM Beefcake calendar. I think we should do a whole RPG YouTube creators calendar. I mean, I know we get Will Jones. I mean, he is the D&D sex icon, right?
Oh, yeah. Every month will just be all of us fawning over him.
Yeah.
with his shirt buttoned down with like 2 buttons are buttoned.
Well, no, this is what it needs to be. It needs to be the same shirt, different poses. There's 12 buttons on the shirt, and each month one more button becomes unbuttoned, right?
Yeah. Can we get a fan? Can we get a fan blowing his hair?
Oh yeah, big. It's gotta be. We're gonna go all 80s with it, like a fucking 80s music.
Fabio.
Video. Yeah.
The Fabio of RPGs.
Yeah.
That's great. I think we got a plant in the audience. This Jim Davis guy wants to know when is Pruitt going to run Tomb of Annihilation?
Well, Jim Davis, I believe we have discussed about starting some streaming early in 2018. I was going to get to that point here in a bit, and as proof of that, I have my little board here with all my talking points. And what does that say right there?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, Jim Davis, we will discuss that. I'm currently reading and rereading Tomb of Annihilation. Had a bit of a mental health hiatus after the wreck. That was a little bit harrowing, and so, but getting back in it, I'm excited. I'm terrified to DM because I've only had one campaign that ever lasted a full campaign, a year. So, you know, I mean, but I love role playing and I love making stupid voices. So I can't wait. I can't wait to break out my Jimmy Stewart on y'all. So it'll be exciting.
I think it literally took me 20 years to get a campaign that completed. And
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
No worries. And that was because it was a sponsored game for Open Legend. And we were supposed to do 12 episodes for the sponsorship deal, and I decided to do 13 because it was significant to the campaign.
Okay.
And that was a blast. But like I said, it took like actually having stipulations I had to kind of follow, and 20 years, because none of our games have ever managed to go to the full completion. We got like D&D ADD, I think is the thing.
Well, I mean, that works for second edition, but when we're up here, that doesn't really help out.
Yeah. So bad.
Hey, there we go. That's what
there it is, bro.
There's the bad jokes. No. Like I said, I'm excited. I am more than terrified. I don't know what's just past terrified, but no. I fully intend to run that, and I believe we're going to stream it. We're trying to put together. We're brainstorming as far as cast goes. I really want to get Emma back into playing. It's been far too long since I've gotten to play with her, so I think definitely Jim and Emma will be in on that. But we'll see. I don't know. Like I said,
they can just duct tape the kid and put him in a closet. It'll be fine.
Yeah, a little Trogdor. We'll just have him, and he'll be the party mascot. It'll be fine.
There you go. Listen, free range children. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doug Vahovic, he helped me out there. Mortified. That's what's just past terrified. Yeah. So yes, I am mortified to DM live for the internet, but I'll get over it.
You'll be all right, man. The thing is, especially like if you don't look at the chat, right, and you just look at the little boxes that are on your screen, there's only like it's only you and the 4 other people you're playing with. Like, oh,
yeah. Then you're just playing D&D. Yeah, no, that's no. I had already, because right now I'm like trying not to look over at the chat because I'm enjoying our conversation, and it's hard to split focus between the two. But yes, definitely ignore the chat and just play the game. That'll be the best thing for me.
Yeah, I have that issue all the time. You'll see me staring off into space because I'm reading the chat. And Will Jones is amazing when it comes to that shit. He's like, he'll talk to you and have another separate conversation at the same time. It's like he's got 2 brains.
No, and on top of that, I believe he's the one doing all the sound effects and the music and all of that too, right? Like I don't like it. Just boggles my freaking mind that like he can keep all of that up. Because yes, like there have been many times where he's talking to us and you can hear him typing, and you just look at the chat for Save or Dice, and he's answering people in the chat while talking to us, and it's just like, dude.
I would just be typing what I'm saying at best.
Exactly. It's like, wait, Dave's typing out what he's saying 10 seconds later. What the hell?
What does it mean? It's from the
mean?
Lisa says double Yanti power, and that makes me think of the Wonder Twins for some reason.
Well, I mean that's kind of what we are. Salazar San's my Yanti Paladin of Conquest, and Humility, her Yanti Bard. I think she's College of Whispers. I think only just because there's an S at the end.
Oh my God, that's an amazing combination.
But let me tell you, man, like I said, we're having a great time with that game.
What level are you guys?
We were 5th level, fourth level.
You need to be 7th. You need to be 7th.
Well, it's so much fun that we have talked about making it kind of a semi-regular thing, like get together like once a month and just play these characters and just play as long as we can, as long as we're having fun. So that has been discussed, and I'm sure those sessions will go up on Sean's YouTube page. So everyone will get to enjoy the adventures of the Yanti, the Druid, and the Witch to Baba Yaga. That's the 4th character, Craig Campbell. He's playing. He's playing a warlock, I believe, to Baba Yaga. So it's an interesting group dynamic. I'll say that. Especially the
last guys are not winning this one.
No. The bad guys are kind of I don't know. There were a couple of casualties. Let's just say collateral damage during the last chase scene.
Things happen.
I might have. There was one part where there's a chase, so obviously there has to be a large pane of glass that moves across the path of the chase scene. So Humility goes through it first and breaks it. And I'm sorry, Lisa said she's a lore bard. Sorry, my bad, Lisa. I just saw that in the chat. So she goes through it and busts the glass, and then Sean's like, all right, there's glass flying through everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go through all Aang style, like spinning my glaive to knock it all out of the way. And so he has me make an attack roll. And of course I roll really well. So that means I knock a piece of glass into one of the glass movers' throats and he dies. And it's like, well, I'm a Yanti pureblood. No,
I don't know if that's technically your fault. I don't think you're responsible for that at all. That was like
incidental. Things happen. That's all I'm saying.
I like the Conquest Paladin, although I don't feel like it fits in most of our games.
For most games, it really won't fit, but I thought it was absolutely perfect for this. Like for a Yanti pureblood, because his whole point of coming to Port Nine Zaru is, that first adventure was Day at the Races. So it was basically like the Olympics. It was like we're gonna send you. We want to see how strong, how tough, how resilient they're the best adventurers from the pink skins. How good are they? Test their resolve, test their mettle, and that's his whole point. And so he constantly says kind of like pseudo, I don't know, like challenging things, like, oh, you'd make a good enemy, or like, oh, I can't wait to meet you in battle. Like, he constantly says things like that because it's like
they're compliments.
Yeah, inevitably the Yuan-ti will rise up and take back the lands of Chult, and that's his whole point. Is he's kind of a herald of that, and he's reconnoitering, as it were. So
Is there a what are they? Beatri? What are the goblins?
oh God,
Lisa, I think Lisa just said it the other day. But yeah, is there a goblin team? There needs to be one of those. The worst stack. Oh my god.
oh my God. Well, there was a whole team of turtles. There was the team from Pathfinder, the Pathfinder like this awesome Pathfinder adventurers or whatever. I forgot their name. I mean, I'm not a Pathfinder guy, so
they're iconics.
Yeah, they're iconics that they ported over for this. So there was that. There was, I believe, it was a team of dwarves. Yeah, we there might have been a few accidental deaths in that race. I'll just say that. You know, things happen.
Did I hear you say you threw a tortoise shell?
I threw it. Oh no, I threw a turtle into in the second leg of the adventure or of the race. It's the one where you get on a plesiosaur and you got to go out in the bay and then dive down and pick these heavy bricks up and then bring them back to the docks. Well, I was running like interference on the surface while everyone else dove down. And this turtle, we had already had some exchange in the first part in the chariot race, and so he comes at me, bro, and I'm like, all right. And so he dove at me, and I just kind of set to receive a charge, and then I threw him into the bay. I had maybe thrown food into the bay beforehand to get the plesiosaurs all riled up, and they were basically feasting and kind of fighting with each other. And then I might have thrown him in after that into the same spot. Again, you know, in the heat of combat, things happen. Whether that's you consider that premeditated or just instinctive reaction, you know. So anyway, it was fun.
Yeah, I totally misheard you, and I totally had this Mario Kart style scene in my head.
Well, there were more than a few of those jokes. I think later on, one of the turtles did get knocked out of their, we were in the last leg where we're on top of a triceratops in a big, kind of a wicker basket, and you all have to like fight each other off. And I think that a turtle did get knocked out and like went into another triceratops and tripped them up. So it was straight up Mario Kart using a tortoise shell. I might be misremembering that, but something along those lines happened. I know Jim Davis made prodigious use of Thorn Whip. Let me tell you, when you're doing a race, something like that, anytime where you're going one direction and you need to pull someone 10 feet, Thorn Whip, man, he used that all day. I mean, like, that's like the best cantrip ever for something like that.
I love that cantrip. In real life, I would use it all the time. Be like, get the remote, get my drink.
Oh, dude. You sit down and you realize, oh, I forgot a napkin. Thorn Whip.
All the things Thorn Whip. Yeah. So I was like, someone needs telekinesis in that game, so you can just throw turtles.
Oh yeah.
But barring that, maybe perhaps the judicial use of the grease spell. Instead of greasing an area, you just grease a turtle.
Oh yeah. Just grease the turtle, let them slide down. Yeah, totally. I love it.
I'd almost want that to be a tactic for the turtle team.
Oh yeah.
One of them greases the turtle, and it goes in its shell, and they fling it at
yes. Hey, when it's the last leg, everybody wins. We just need the majority of the team needs to cross the finish line, right? So you got to have that one guy. You have the barbarian turtle with the high con. The mage greases him up, and he just bounces between the people who are following. All you need to do is trip him up. That's all you got to do is slow him down, and then the team wins. You know.
I'm a little disappointed in Sean for not using that now.
Well, I'll pass along your grievances.
Yeah. Is there a form I can fill out? Can I send a letter somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. We'll get it to you. We'll be back to you in 4 to 6 weeks.
Sorry guys, I've been kind of like skipping out on checking the chat for questions. There's actually a ton of them.
Oh shit! Okay.
Fun chatting here.
Yeah, we're just having a good talk. Well, yeah, let's hit me rapid fire, man.
All right, we got Duel 18. Biggest surprise in a campaign you played or DM'd in?
The biggest surprise, biggest surprise in a campaign I have played or DM'd in. I would have to say one of the biggest surprises, it's a story we've told quite a bit, it was when Jim tricked me in my idiocy to put on a ring that had a demon in it. That was a shot, you know. So that kind of changed the whole course of that campaign, where it was like, oh, we gotta get the sun unblotted and run off all these dark elves and vampires. Like, no, now you gotta gather up 5 artifacts and get this demon out of you in a year and a day, or you die. And so, there was that. And then at the end of it, where it's I do all the things, have this big epic battle. I fucking kill like I don't know how many demons and devils. I mean, I was a badass by the end. I was a half fiend, like a 10-foot tall half fiend by the end, because I was slowly turning into a devil. And then he gets to the end and he's just like, all right, well, time to hide all these things and start over. Because he just did that because he was bored. He just does that for a few thousand years. The Devil Prince. So that was like, you son of a bitch. Like
But that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was awesome. It was one of those moments where my character was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, it was amazing.
It's one of those things we talk about a lot, and that is like having different player goals from character goals, and being able to separate the two. Like as a player, you're like, yes, thank you so much, and then the character's like, oh my god, you've totally ruined my life.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Tobias had to go through a lot of redemption after that. He had to do a lot of soul searching. Became a paladin, kind of worked out. So it was like a 16 fighter, like 4 paladin. Finished that campaign at like 20th level. It was all right.
So I know you guys are big Warhammer fans.
Yeah, we have played some Warhammer, both 40K and fantasy RPG. Yes.
What about reading the novels?
Well, I have mostly read 40K novels. I love the Einhorn. I don't know if you ever read Einhorn.
I've not read any of the 40K. All of the stuff I've read.
Yeah, I believe it's, or is it Eisenhorn? Eisenhorn. Einhorn is a man. Sorry, that was Jim Carrey. No, it's Eisenhorn. He's an Inquisitor. So there's that, and then the Ravenor. I believe it's Ravenor. Is kind of an offshoot of that book, like a character from Eisenhorn. I'm actually currently reading Hell's Reach, and that is badass. It's about some Space Marines defending a hive from an orc invasion. There's actually you should look up Hell's Reach on YouTube. There's a guy, I forgot his name. I think it's like Richard Boylan. And he's doing this animated series where he's taking the audiobook of Hell's Reach and doing this awesome black and white animation to kind of tell the story using the audiobook. So you should look it up because it is awesome. They're up to like
before it gets ripped down.
Yeah. Or it's like they're on like part 8 or 9. I mean, each one, they get a little longer as it goes on, but it's damn cool. That's actually what got me to buy the book, and I'm about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through that. So yeah, I'm mostly 40K novels. I haven't ever read. I assume that there's Warhammer fantasy novels, but yeah. Yes, I've never read any.
And most of my reading has been Gortrax and Felix, but there is Malice Darkblade. There's a trilogy, and very much that character reminded me of the character you described.
Mm-hmm.
If he started off evil.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. His mount. His name's Spite.
Well, there you go.
So there's your teaser. So nice. Ed Graff, what would you do to make hags even worse to deal with?
Oh God, why do you got to bring up hags, man?
You guys recently did a video on.
No.
It's a ways back. Cody recently did one.
Yeah, Jim will know what I mean when I said that. It's just because his 2 games the actual 2 games that we've done live play for WebDM, the Razzle Sin games, it's just we're dealing with the hag, and each time she's just like either plane shifted away or teleported away, and it's just one of those things where you're like right there, and then bad guy gets away, so it's just frustrating. To make hags even more evil, they can already take your babies and pretend to be everyone around you. And, I mean, I honestly don't know, because hags are pretty damn evil. They unless you just want to slap a whole like level of, or like 10 levels of a caster on them. I mean, I try not to think about hags like that. I'm saving myself for marriage. So
we have some hags going on in our game.
Yeah.
The players are afraid to confront them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like I had like they went and bargained with the hags because they needed something from them,
Hmm.
and so the hags took their memories,
Oh.
but specific memories,
Hmm.
depending on which characters. Like they took the ones that were important to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's been like a lot of fun. I think hags are worse and better when you don't use them as a monster with stat blocks.
Well, yeah, yeah. And I love what Jim. I love what Jim says in the chat. Said in the chat, make them nice and super helpful to really throw the players off. Like, yeah, no, that's an excellent
And put
point.
them in a candy house, maybe.
Yep.
Gingerbread
Well,
house.
that's what it is, right? Got to eat them childrens. Mm.
Huh. P Tricky.
Yeah.
How to keep a half orc from picking fights with all the NPCs. You just put a powerful one in there and whoop his ass so bad.
Why does the half orc have to want to pick fights? That would be my first question. I mean, I don't know. That's does the half orc have to? Or I mean, I guess this is probably just a problem they're having in their own campaign.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to your players.
Talk to your players. You know, start actually enforcing consequences if they are in a town and in a bar and the half orc starts a fight. Then the town guard should show up and arrest them and put them in jail and take their stuff away for a night or two. Make the players have to bail them out. I don't know. Start attaching genuine consequence to. I mean, I assume this is becoming very disruptive. So you can either talk to the player outside the game, be like, "Hey, I know you're role playing your character, and he's a bit of a whatever, but becoming a distraction," or you just start implementing in-game consequences and make them stick. And be like, well, if you were out in a bar in the real world and you punched someone, the bouncers would call the cops. They would throw you out. The cops would come arrest you and you'd be put in jail. So why would you think it would happen any differently in this fantasy realm where there are laws and town guards? I mean, like, you know, I don't know. I mean, unless they just got some issues they need to work out, well, then, you know, put them in a different setting and be like, all right, kill all the shit you want. Get your catharsis or go get a therapist. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, you get a lot of that. And we get like it's one of those questions we get all the time. It's like, how do you make X do X? I'm like, in all actuality, you can't. Like you can't make anyone do anything they don't really want to do. You can ask, you can talk to people. You like you said, you can have cause and effect and consequences. But that's the other thing too, is like you as the GM, have you let them get away with too much shit for too long? And they don't expect consequences.
Right. And that's kind of the fault of the DM. I mean, if you're not enforcing real world consequences, then you're going to get that, you know, that behavior. So
I've even seen people kind of argue with this in the comments, be like, "Oh no, you're just picking on that character." I'm like, how? No, really, if you do things in the real world, there's things that you can expect for it. It's going to be the same in the fantasy world. You're going to be banned from every town you ever go to. Like the half orc's going to always have to sleep outside.
Yeah.
And, you know, and as a GM, I would feel inclined to be like, you got to enforce how miserable that is. Like, especially like rain and mud and snow.
Yep, it rains. You wake up and you know all the kennel dogs are surrounding you, and you're covered in fleas now, and so then you take a level of exhaustion, and then you got Lyme disease from ticks. You know,
if it's our Marvel game, you'll be covered in way worse than fleas.
Yeah, that gets pretty rowdy, doesn't it? I hear
they do get a little rowdy. So help! I've been kidnapped. I know it's not relevant, but is that a giant D20 prop in your videos? And how did you get that?
A giant D20 prop in our videos. Are you talking about like the giant red D20 that's on the table, I assume, sometimes?
Yeah, I'm like, are they talking about their videos, our videos? Because I feel like everyone at some point ends up with a giant D20.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Jim has like a large D20, like a red one, and then every now and again we've shot videos where we brought the big plush D20, like it's like a whole plush set of dice, and we use the D20 when we do our like random question shows. So, you know, I know that Jim would use the big red one that has appeared before. That he'd use that as like a combat counter, you know.
Oh, don't you guys roll a big die when you ask questions and stuff?
Yeah, that's what we use the plush D20 for. Like sometimes we'll have our random, questions from viewer shows, and Trav will get 20 questions, and we roll the big D20. And so yes, that has happened a couple times.
So Morgan Bright, longsword or battle axe?
Longsword all the way. I've always been a sword man myself.
Come on, man, guys! You see this beard? You know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an axe. So I want to ask a question, and this is a Pruitt specific question. You do martial arts or have done martial arts?
Yes, I from the ages of like 16 to 2021, I took Taekwondo and got up to second degree black belt, and I instructed for a while. I was actually on the verge of having my own school, and then I had a whole existential crisis about living in Tyler, Texas, and working in Brownsboro, I think, because I did not want to stay in Tyler, Texas, and my instructor's like getting ready to hand me my own school, and I'm like, and kind of freak out. And so it's a reoccurring theme in my life. So took it for like 5 years and just kind of fell out of it and moved to Austin. And I have taken Taekwondo again a couple times over the years. And my most recent martial arts experience was in Kung Fu and Tai Chi. It was a couple years ago, right up until the day a couch fell on my head and displaced a vertebrae. So it's one of those things where like I annoy my friends. I know I do. They don't have to. No, you don't. No, I annoy the shit out of my friends with martial arts. Like, hey, I need to get back into martial arts. Like that's my reoccurring. That's my thing. I got to get back into. And but yes, I've always been a martial arts enthusiast. As if it's like movies or anything like that. So long-winded answer.
I have like a yellow belt in like 5 different styles.
Nice. Yes. You're the jack of all trades. You just go in and get just enough, get the stances and the punches from each one.
I don't know. I just had trouble with follow through. And recently I started with taking Tai Chi as well.
Yeah. I really, the thing is there's the school here in Austin. It's right. I mean, it's 3 miles down the road. And I so want to get back into that. And it's one of those things where like every time I'm almost ready, I get hurt somehow. And, and so like most recently I was planning on getting back in, and then I got in this wreck like 5 months ago, however 3 months ago now almost. So, it's fun times. I mean, they do like weapons training on top of everything else, and it's just like, yes, I want to learn the 9-section staff and the nunchucks, and I want it all, So it's always on the back burner. Someday I'm going to move it back to the front burner and hope I don't get burned.
My buddy has a couple YouTube channels, Enter Shaolin, Enter Tai Chi, and an Enter Shaolin website, and they actually do like a subscription service for Kung Fu online. But he's been training with the same teacher since 18, and he teaches now, and that's where I go for Tai Chi. And like when we do push hands, it just when he does it, it just feels like a mountain moving towards you, and it's like you just can't resist it.
Yeah, no, a lot of those exercises are absolutely amazing. And I was always one of the people, like, even though I love martial arts, when I would hear people talk about like chi and flow of energy and all that, like I'd always kind of like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, but it's like, no. Once you actually like do it right and actually like focus, like, and all it is you literally get to the point where you can feel your blood pumping through your body. Like, you get so in tune with your heartbeat and everything. Like I could feel the blood rushing down my arms and back up. And you realize like that's what they're talking about. The flow of energy, like the flow throughout your body, all those sensations that your brain naturally like filters out because they aren't important for survival. That's all it is. Cause it's, that's what Tai Chi is, right? It's the internal side of the martial art to the Kung Fu's external. Right.
One of the guys that is actually in my D&D group, and he was trying to explain it to one of the other guys that used to do Aikido, and he kind of got out of it because he's like, I hate all that mysticism bullshit. And he's like, no, really, like, kinetic energy is energy, and once you learn to feel and manipulate and move it, it's not in like magic way, but in the sense of you're so good at controlling and using your body where most of your opponents haven't trained to do that. So not only can you manipulate your own kinetic energy, you begin to manipulate theirs. And the Nodak No system, which is the system that they do, which is based off of his instructors, which is it's mainly like it's probably mainly like China, Tai Chi, and Wing Chun, and they do 5 animals as well.
Yeah,
but you know, they're amazing, and you know, to see them work and do things, it's like crazy. I remember like the first time, and this was like he wasn't even that good then but he had been doing it for like 5-10 years, and he showed me, you know, just like placing what they call placing a strike, and literally it's like him just holding up his arm and he dropped it on my chest, and I'm like, I felt like he fucking shattered my collarbone. I'm like, if you ever touch me like that again, I will kill you. I will dig a tiger pit outside your door.
Yes.
I will mace you and I will tase you.
The old mace and tase. It's insane. You know, and like you said, it's all it is putting as much force into the smallest amount of surface area possible. I mean, that's, you know, that's one of my favorite things about learning, like the basics of throwing a punch. You know, like most people don't know how to really do that. And it's like, no, you got to focus everything into these 2 knuckles. Like you got to put it down in this square 2 inches, because, you know, that's how you get the most impact out of your punch. And also you'll break your other knuckles because they are like trees coming in on branches, and this is your trunk. So there you go. That's a free lesson.
Yeah, they talk a lot about external and internal, and even like his instructors, like, I will let anybody hit me with an external strike. But if someone even knows a little bit about internal strikes, I will not let them hit me.
Oh, you mean like pressure points and striking points and like that?
No, it's their way of punching, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But like he literally lets huge guys just wail on him in the ribs consistently. Like, how do you do that? And so at one of the tournaments, one of the guys came up to my buddy, goes, well, I know your instructor is good and can do all this, but what about you? So he's like, I was like, all right, hit me. Like, that's always his response, hit me. And so he hits him in the ribs, and this guy's like a 2nd degree black belt or something or whatever. And he's like, don't give me everything at once, but go ahead and hit me. And he does. And he's like, oh, you can go harder than that. And he does. And he's like, so it keeps escalating to the point where the other guy's like, well, this is what I use to shatter cinder blocks.
Right.
Like, all right, let's try that. And no problems. Like, there's like he's got like his instructor has a standing challenge. Is like, anybody can try and choke him out. He'll let anybody try and do it. No one's been able to do it. Other students come to him and go, and you know, learn a little bit, then go back to wherever they're learning, and they always do the same thing. There's this guy, he can't be choked out.
Yeah. And
like, so like this jiu-jitsu guy shows up. He's like, what do you mean? I've been doing this a long time. I'm pretty good. I can choke anybody out. Couldn't choke him out. Ends up training with him for a little while, goes back to his home, gets a metal garbage can, takes all of his belts, all of his awards, and sets it on fire. He said, it's all useless.
Well, that might be a bit of a overreaction, but
I think so.
But you know, now I want to move up to where you are and take kung fu from this person. So you know, in the next.
Well, they're gonna be doing seminars, and I think they plan on doing one in Austin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they want to travel and do them.
Please let me know if they do, because that would be a lot of fun to see. Because, like I said, I absolutely love it. So have you ever sustained any big injuries in martial arts?
My worst one was in my early 20s, stretching. So I was using the mahjong to you know, do some leg stretches, and I had my leg up, and I was doing like a front stretch, and I went to turn it into a side stretch, and my bottom foot, from the thigh up, pivoted.
Oh.
From the knee down did not. I mean, from the thigh pivoted. From the knee down did not. I felt my knee literally. I felt my leg literally pop out, swing around, and pop back in on the other side. I rolled over, hit the ground. I'm just laying there, grabbing my leg, holding it. My buddy comes running over and looks down at me and goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And my knee's been boned ever since.
Oh, yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah, for me, it was I was sparring one night, and we had this kid who turns out later he had a rare medical condition where his kidneys were in front of his intestines instead of behind. So everything's still hooked up properly. It's just they resided in front. So punching him in the stomach was like punching him in the kidneys. So he could never take a kick. He could never take a punch to the gut, and he'd always get really frustrated. And so it was like most people would just kind of use that as a sparring technique. Like, when you're sparring this guy, if you just pop him once in the stomach, he loses focus, and then it's easy to kick him in the head and blah, 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 Well, I'm sparring him one night, and I'm just peppering away, and I'm getting close to a black belt here. And I'm just peppering away with like quick side kicks and like twist kicks into the stomach. And he's like, he's starting to froth and spit, And then I got cocky and I went in for a slide side kick, and he came up as hard as he could with a round kick and caught me right in the jaw and popped my jaw out both sides at the same time. And I hit the ground, and I remember looking up at the mirror, and my jaw was like distended. It looked like the only thing that went through my mind was Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Like literally, that's the thought that went through my mind immediately. It was like, you look like Baraka.
But not in a good way, right?
But not in a good way. No. And so, yeah, like I'm sitting there like, like my mouth immediately dries out. Luckily, my sister, who was at Baylor for physical therapy, was going to be a physical therapist at the time. She happened to be in from Baylor that weekend and got in that day and decided to come up to Taekwondo with us. And so she immediately runs out there and checks and pushes on my jaw. And she's like, and I remember her saying, it's not broken. I'm going to help you. You just have to shut your mouth. Like, I'm going to help you shut your mouth. It'll pop back in place. And they get like a couple people to hold me down. And they're like, all right, 1, 2, 3. And she shoves as I close my mouth. So basically, it just sounded like a gun went off inside my skull. Like that's because this happens, right here next to my eardrum. My ears rang for about 3 hours after this. And what I'm about to tell you, this is no bullshit. I don't remember this. My instructor told me about this later because my mind apparently decided to block out the next couple minutes. So I immediately started bucking, and my instructor told everybody to get away from me. And I got up, and we had one of those standing wave bags, like water-filled wave bags. And they weigh about, I don't know, a little over 200 pounds. And he said I ran over to it and hit it, and it flew about 10 feet, about 2 feet off the ground, and hit the ground. And I ran over to it and then punched it back across the room. And everybody just backed up against the wall and just tried not to move as I stomped outside and was just screaming. And then I remember kind of getting in the car to go to the hospital. And
they say the monk barbarian combination can't work.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit. There's nothing that says you can't flurry of blows while raging. And so, yeah, that was fun. I dropped down from about 155 pounds to 130 pounds over the next 6 weeks because I couldn't eat solid food for almost a month. I was drinking Ensure every day, and then I gained all that weight back in about 5 days. My first meal was I went to McDonald's and had 3 number ones and a 10-piece nugget, and I was just eating and eating, the worst food imaginable, but still. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. To this day, if I'm not prepared for it and I barely get bumped in the jaw, oh my God, it's just it's hell. But for the most part, it's okay. And the doctor said it's because you popped your jaw back in immediately. So I don't have any clicking. I don't have any TMJ from that, luckily. It's just every now and again I have a glass jaw. It just depends on the angle and how tense I am. But
is your sister when she sees you now, remember that time I saved your life? You're almost Baraka for life, but I saved you.
Almost. But yeah, that's probably the worst injury I sustained there.
Other than my knee stretching and some bruised ribs, I've never had anything worse than that.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
But nothing is doing me in as bad as Father Time, unfortunately.
Well, time defeats all enemies. It's only a matter of time. So
yeah, I'm working on getting health insurance now, but my shoulder is jacked. I got tennis elbow. I'm guessing is what it feels like because I started going back to the gym with my son, and it felt really good. And like honestly, I kind of work out a little bit like an idiot because I just like to move heavy things, or I hate being there. I don't know why. It makes it tolerable for me.
Right.
It's my own hang up.
Yeah.
But what I realized really quickly was I was still really strong and could move a lot of weight, but apparently my joints did not feel the same way.
Yeah, that cartilage doesn't last as long. That's the sad truth.
And it felt like someone just flipped a switch, like working out, doing well, and then all of a sudden, left side trash.
Yeah. Well, so you got to get into like swimming or something like that, low impact. But
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I've now almost fully recovered. A couple years ago, I got tripped up at work and had to catch myself, and I was almost parallel with the ground, and I had a frozen shoulder. I do not recommend that to anyone. That is like the worst pain I've ever experienced next to the dislocated jaw. Yeah, so I actually have full mobility, almost full mobility in range again, and that's been a couple of years. You know, age sucks.
I would do the swimming thing, but anytime I get near the pool, they're like people start trying to push me in and save my life. Other with Sketch's question, I'm quite overweight, but I have always wanted to learn martial arts. Would you say that would still be a good idea? Well, check with your doctor first, and I would say absolutely. Yeah. Just stay within your limits.
Yeah, I mean, find a place that is willing to let you work at your own pace and within your own limits, like Dave said. I mean, there are those schools that try to push everybody the same and blah blah blah, and it's like, well, some people aren't built for that at first, but you know, get in there and get moving around, and you might be surprised that you might start shedding some of that weight and things get a little easier. So, you know, I tell everyone that I talk to get into some form of martial art, because to me, martial arts, I mean, you're working out within your own body. I've never really liked working out like weightlifting or anything. I like to be able to throw my own body weight around effectively. It's always been something I've been more interested in. So, you know, I talk to like parents I work with, and their kids are like, yeah, I think we're going to do soccer or this. And I'm like, you should get them in martial art. They're going to have great balance, and also it teaches self-confidence. It teaches working with others. And also, by the way, it teaches self-defense, which is something that parents are always worried about with their kids. Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, again, get into martial art.
And also, too, like you can check out my buddy's site, entershaolin.com, and learn at your own pace if you want. Surprisingly, like people are like, well, how can you learn that way? But when they've done their seminars and they've met up with people that are involved, what they're finding is their forms and technique is better than the people that they've trained in their school. Mm-hmm. Because like it's on a video, they watch it and they can freeze frame and, you know, slow motion and just keep going through it over and over again.
Right.
And, you know, for people that are serious anyway.
Yeah. It's all about repetition and mimicry, man, until it becomes your own. I mean, that's all we do, right?
It's funny. We've totally hijacked this D&D conversation to martial arts. You know, sometimes it's crocheting, sometimes it's woodworking, and sometimes, you know.
Hey, everybody's got their own things. That's why we do this, right?
That's it, man. Besides, like, you know, in this environment, we get to peel back the layers a little bit and reveal a little bit more about, you know, ourselves and get a little more personal. So that's kind of cool. But we are beyond the hour mark now.
Oh man, yeah, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, it's real easy. You know, I could definitely talk to you or anybody from WebDM forever. I really feel like you guys, of all the people I've met online and gamed with, seem a lot like our gaming group.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're just some normal dudes that loves us some role playing, man. And so I don't know, that's what I love. Like we get people ask us, is that how y'all really are? It's like, yeah, it's just us. There's no act here. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't put these glasses on and pretend to be a nerd. I do it because I'm blind as shit.
Reverse Superman.
Yeah. So, you know.
That's funny. That is the epiphany too that we've had at our table. We look around and it's like everyone's got glasses, everyone's got facial hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to have that. It's part of the uniform, if I recall. So
it is part of the uniform. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out in the chat. I'm sorry we didn't get to all your questions. I've been kind of hogging the Pruitt to myself.
We didn't do a roll call. Oh my god.
Yeah. I've given up on the roll call after
you have?
70, 80 people. because I'm like, it's so long. Like I'm out of breath by the time we get done. Like, oh my God, I need oxygen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Old Gus there wants to know if playing chaotic is more fun than playing lawful. I think it is, but if you play lawful right, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it always you find the fun at the table for you, and it can be different for everybody. So
Exactly.
as long as you're not being a dick and taking away from other people's fun, it's all good.
There you go.
But with that, like I said, everyone, thanks for hanging out with us today. Pruitt, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. I was glad we were able to get the matching set of all three WebDM individually. That was cool.
Your set of steak knives will be in the mail now that you've collected all three. So
nice.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I guess I'll see you later on tonight when we kick off some Saber Dice action.
Yeah, you guys are going to be on a podcast or something today too, aren't you?
Oh yes, we are. We're going to be on the Love, Travel, and Other Drugs podcast. I believe that starts at 4 Central, and it's going to be on the Unmute app. You're going to need to get that app. It's a new thing that lets people do like actual live call in.
And it's a live show. That answers that question.
It's a live show where you can do live call in, and like the host of it can like you actually talk to your people listening. So I don't know, I've never used it. I downloaded it the other day, and but yeah, we're going to be on with them. I
just assumed everyone knows who WebDM is, but if by chance you've been living under a rock and dark sun or something, in the description you can find plenty of links. I got all the Twitter links. You guys have like 3 different Twitter accounts.
Yep.
Maybe I accidentally gave out their personal ones that are keeping a secret. Oops. There's the WebDM YouTube channel, so got a Facebook page as well. So check them out, guys. And until next time, stay nerdy.
And may the dice ever roll in your favor.